Okay, I'm recording. Now your sound will be the screen and your sound. Okay.
Hello?
So am I able to write? Let me see. Yeah, this is that's smart.
Because you gotta hit the play button on the side.
No, it's not about it. Because I'm using this one. Since I'm using this connection, it's not letting me using that. If I just unplug this one, that works.
Still work. Like press the play button. Use the marker on that one. No, that one.
Tell want to hear? Let me try it. Okay. Now, all right. Y is equal to f of x. F of x is equal to absolute value x. This is the parent function, as you see on your papers. Top right-hand corner. This is the parent function of absolute value. We call that absolute value of parent function. And now we're going to translate this one on coordinate plane. For example, it's very simple. You can just drag it, grab it, and then move it around. You can do that on calculators. Now I'm going to tell, but there's a rule. You need to type command. What is the command? If you put here -4, you're going to drag that to the down 4 units. Because this -4 is outside. This is related with the rule that you have written. For example, the first one, y is equal to absolute value x plus b. It's on your paper. You just wrote that down. Okay? Now, since this is -4, we're going to grab and drag that one 4 units down and then drop it. So what does that mean? Once we see the graph here, it's right there. So this is -4, all right? So absolute value function was this, and just we brought it down 4 units. Does that make sense? And on the other hand, +1, absolute value function was on 0. The vertex was on 0. They just add 1. It went up 1 unit. Very simple. Let me show you a couple of more examples so you will understand better. 16 days remaining. This is the absolute value function. So let me write it down. F of x is equal to x. We call this one absolute value parent function, and it has to be 45 degree. If that is for 45 degree, I couldn't draw that. It has to be 90 degree in the middle. Okay, so this is 45 degree here. On what else I can talk about it? This is 1, and there is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. So that increase, rise, run, rise, run. What does that remind you? Slope, right? So what is the slope here? Rise how many units? And then run how many units? 1. 1 by 1. It goes 1 by 1. So it's kind of hard to draw that on. You will do that better because you have graph journals. And so slope is 1. So that represented here 1, correct? So this is the absolute value parent function. And if you want to add here something, add or subtract, this function will make it up or down. For example, another example here, f of x is equal to absolute value x minus 3. So 1, 2, 3. Very simple. You'll just grab, drag, and drop here. So we call this one f of x equals absolute value x minus 3. Is that clear? Or complicated? Makes that 5. F of x is equal to absolute value x minus 7, for example. Minus 7 is there, so makes sense? Plus 7. Is it hard? Okay, did you understand? Okay, now, another side. This is, let me write that down in a big letter. F of x is equal to absolute value x plus or minus a number. Makes it vertical shift. We call this vertical shift. Make sense? Okay, let's get back to where we left off. Now we have a question here. We're changing the coefficients. So let me put that down into smartboard. I'm gonna draw this one. And first thing first, I always draw parent function. What is parent function? F of x equal absolute value. Did you already see? Yeah, go to x. Now let's draw this one first. Draw the parent function. So as you see, this is 1 by 1. Y is equal to y is equal to absolute value x, and coefficient is 1. So if coefficient is 1, what's going on? It's rising 1 unit, running 1 unit, 1 by 1. Make sense? And now, new question. Y is equal to 1 over 2 times absolute value of x. Now, when you look over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now, what is the slope? 1 over 2, because Dominic, does that make sense, Dominic? Y is equal to mx plus b, where m is slope, b is y-intercept, right? So slope is apparently 1 over 2. Rise 1 unit, run how many units? 2 units. 1 and 2. Make sense? And do it again. 1, rise 1 unit, then run how many units? 2 units. 1, 2. Okay? So I'm going to connect these points now. So we call this one y is equal to 1 over 2 absolute value x. Is that clear? And this is the right wing. It's not hard to draw the left wing. And also you can do the negative slope negative on the -1. So -1 over 2. Right, Martin and Kidus? Is that right? So we're going to draw 1, 1 and 2. Okay? Rise 1, run 2 units. So we're going to complete these points. We're going to get the graph of that. So what happened? This is important. This portion is important. Now, this is stretched by the factor of 2. This is stretched, but this one is compressed. Compressed by the factor of 1 over 2. When, is that right? Okay, now see the example. See the example. So, same thing, right? Look over here. So after that, we have another question. I'm going to get back to this and open up a new one. I will draw a coordinate plane. I'm going to write a function f of x is equal to -2, okay, -2 absolute value x. Now, first, there are 3 steps. Okay, first step, I'm going to draw the parent function. F of x is equal to absolute value x. Then second step, I'm going to draw, this is, let's say, k of x. This is m, doesn't matter, just second. Those are the details. Those are details. Just need to focus on, first, I have to draw the parent function. Then I'm going to draw this one by the coefficient is 2. And then finally, I will draw this one. F of x is equal to -2 absolute value of x. Okay, we know, do we know what is the parent function? What shape? V shape, where the vertex going to be?
Origin.
0, origin, okay. Okay, this one was the first step. The second step is making that 2. Slope was 1, make the slope 2. How? How to make the slope 2? Dominic, how to make the slope 2? When, how to make the slope 2? Raise 1 or 2? Raise 2, rise 2, run 1. That's right. So basically it's going to be twice as much. So we call this f of x equal absolute value. No, f of x equal. It's written there. Check the color code. Check the color code. Negative or positive? I'm talking about green. 2x, absolute value 2x. And then I'm going to go red one. I will draw -2. How? There you go. If it's negative, very simple. What is the difference between that red and green? Only one negative. One negative makes everything that's upside and down. Things gonna go upside and down. So basically, I'm gonna look over here, look at the screen, maintain this one, and complete it. It's going to be symmetrical, just flipped across the x-axis. So the green one, once you flip this one, they will match. They will overlap. Does that make sense? The green and red. Because just negative makes that flip. Okay.